Hey guys, welcome to the weekly mastermind Rise Academy. And as you may know, man, if you're on the platform, you know that every week on a Wednesday at 2 p.m., I come in here to literally answer your questions and really helping you making the most out of the platform, really like showing you how to use all the different tools you have at your disposal by again, like answering every single question you may have. Like it could be anything like mindset, nutrition, exercise, everything. I just come in here to really like mastermind, like really bringing several or many single-minded, not single-minded, many people with the similar minds together. That's what a mastermind is really. And the purpose of this call is really to help you advance and conquer, to help you accelerate and get more results for yourself so that obviously you can go back and then make an impact in life and really like inspire other people. So this call is primarily for Rise Academy users. So everybody who is on Rise Academy, be it on a trial right now, or you're on a fat loss program, or you're on a nutrition plan, or you're on the whole Rise Academy, you get all your question answered, sorry, on this mastermind. And my only purpose for the next, 30, 45 minutes will be to deal with any sort of queries you may have, any questions, any doubts, any things like in terms of how to, but I'm going to link that up a lot to the platform so that you can obviously go in the platform and then see like where you can get the information from and really like how we can help you move forward from there. So today's topic is all about injury recovery and mobility. And I've picked up on this topic because we're currently working with a contributor to add some extra things into the platform in terms of mobility, recovery, and all these kind of things. And I thought it would be a great topic for this week. Reason being, I've been through a lot of injuries. I've been through pretty much like shoulders injuries, knee, back, and pretty much wrist, pretty much the whole shebang. And the vast majority of the clients I work with as well come in and they have an history of injuries. And one thing with injuries, especially when it comes to like the whole fitness and gym thing, injuries happen for two reasons. It could happen obviously like deliberately. So like, okay, you know that you're doing something dangerous and then you just keep doing it, which in most cases is down to like not executing an exercise properly, or probably like, what's really going hard, ego lifting, and then eventually you end up with the bad news. The other side of injuries is like when injuries happen without you knowing how and when they happen, and that's when obviously like this is a very small portion of the whole injury population in terms of fitness. But you could probably go to the gym, let's say today, and then like 2 or 3 days later, you start feeling that something is wrong, and therefore you probably picked up an injury somewhere. So, and there's a lot of things you can do with injuries. There's a lot of things you have to do in order to get better. But one thing as well I've realized, and I've seen with several clients as well, is injuries kind of like become a getaway. So like most of the time obviously you get injured, you stop training, or you have to stop training, and eventually you're kind of like stuck at home, and then you end up like eating a bit too much, and then you end up like wasting your results because you got injured at some point. And I've seen it in the gym I used to operate, like well over like 70-80% of the people actually exercising and in that gym, they had some sort of injuries before. So there have been cases where obviously like if you rest enough, you will kind of like recover naturally. And there have been cases where there was the requirement of like, working with a physio, with a chiropractor, sports massage, with therapists, and some movement specialists as well. So we're going to go through all these different ways to deal with your injuries. And the first thing I want to address today is pretty much when we talk about injuries, especially around fitness, they are pretty common. Like most people will get some type of injuries at some point, and I think like it's kind of normal, okay, because it's a physical activity. So you will get injured. It will happen. What we want to do here at Rise is one, minimizing the chances of those injuries. Like we want to give you so much knowledge so that you can actually overcome and minimize to literally zero your chances of getting injured. So that's why I'm going to jump into my screen now. I'm going to share the screen. I think you can see that now. So that's, yeah, I think you can see this. You can see the screen now. So if you come into the platform, you will see that right at the bottom here, you've got a module which is called How To's. Okay, so if you go into the How To's, this is pretty much like every single exercise in the platform is literally there. Okay, so for example, you go into the big three. In the first 4 weeks of the program, you will do a lot of assessment on the big three, and here what you want to obviously look at is like how to perform them. So let's say that we take the squats, for example. So you've got obviously 2 types of squats. You've got the videos here explaining how to do it. And again, like, we still give you like enough freedom to pick up like whichever one you're comfortable with. And those tutorials are not like 20-minute videos or 30-minute videos. They're literally like very short and powerful, to the point. Okay. And then under each video, you have like 3 pointers. Like, okay, if you high bar squat, you want to put the bar on your traps, for example, and then you want to allow a more upright position. You don't want to be leaning forward compared to a low bar squat. So these are the things you want to bear in mind. Like, those videos are really short and powerful and really giving you like a lot of information. And every time you approach a lift and you are not, I would say, comfortable with the lift, or maybe it could be the first time, or you've done it before, but you want to approach it from a different angle because you feel some type of injuries or discomfort, this is the place to come to. You need to come to the how to section and then literally go through, literally, I think we got like loads of video, dozens of video explaining you like what to do, how to do it. And they're really short videos, because I know that you may be in the gym, you may be on your phone, for example, with the workout sheet, and you get stuck with an exercise. You're like, okay, Oli, what's a press up ladder? Okay, you come here, and let me kill the sun. Press up ladder, and then literally the press up ladder comes up. So like, this is how we do a press up ladder. This is like how many reps, what's the rep range, this is the position, and then you get the video right there, straight up. Okay, so that's what obviously I want the platform to give you, not just telling you like, okay, do this exercise, but having the knowledge and the certainty that sorry, I just exited the screen now. Having the knowledge and certainty that what you're doing is right and is safe, so that obviously it can help you accelerate your results. Now, with that as well, with the whole how to, like, you may feel like, okay, you know what, I probably went on my 1 rep max week and I feel a bit sore. So one thing I want to highlight as well is do not confuse soreness with injuries. Clearly, like, when you're training your muscle, you're hurting them, you know, like you're stretching the muscle and you're contracting it. So you will feel some soreness because you've trained the muscle. This is normal. And with time and experience, you will see that there's a clear difference, and you will learn to listen to your body even better than me, hopefully. You will see that there's a clear difference between soreness and injury, okay? And you will see, like, you know, it's called DOMS. I mean, that's a whole scientific terms, and you don't need to know that. Let's call it soreness for now. And you really want to know the difference between that, because there were cases, again, before, of clients who came in and then, like, you know, after a proper intense session, like, when they feel the soreness, they're scared that they got injured or something like that. And that's where obviously the knowledge comes in, because you've got a platform like this weekly mastermind. You can still ask the question. You've got access to me literally, I think, 24/7 with my private page as well. And when you come in there, you will feel some soreness from exercise. That's normal. That's the proof that, okay, the muscle got hurt, but it's actually rebuilding stronger. And that is something you really want to bear in mind as well. Now, on top, let me go back to sharing my screen. Right. On top of the how-tos, because we've got like different exercises, like in terms of how-tos, like how to do the leg, the chest. So we've got loads of exercises here, literally covering everything. So I strongly advise that you go in there and then familiarize yourself with it. For every exercise you're coming up with, every exercise you don't feel comfortable with, every exercise like you feel like, okay, you know what, I want to go back and revisit it, because I want to tell you that like mastery will come through high frequency. So if you used to squat a certain way over a long period of time, you will become a master at it. And in order to become a master at it, you need to keep revisiting the fundamentals. Like you need to keep going back and be like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? And that's why we also have the private Facebook group for you to come in and usually, like, I highly encourage that you put your videos there. I've seen a couple of you guys already putting the videos there and really showing like, okay, you know what, this is my form. How do you feel about it? What can I change? And this is also great. The guys on the VIP program, eventually, like when we meet up in person, obviously we can go over like anything. We can feel, touch, see what we can change and all this kind of good stuff. Now, in the how-to section as well, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and remember that if you're on mobile, if you're accessing the platform on mobile, you've got to scroll all the way down. It's written here. Turn your phone to landscape and then scroll all the way down so you can see the videos. So if you come to the how-to section and you click on warm-up and mobility, you will get loads of warm-up and mobility, which again brings me to the topic of mobility today. So you will see that every single workout is structured this way, okay? First of all, we start every single workout with some warm-up, some stretches, some mobility. That's again to make sure that you're ready for action. That's again to make sure that we loosen up like the muscles, the joints, like some areas which may have gotten stiffer because of the previous workout or previous activities. And that's how obviously you will succeed. You will start with warm-up and mobility, and then from there, we're going to go to the big compound lift. So you will see, for example, the big compound lift, in most cases, a barbell movement in the big tree. And then after that, we're going to obviously do like some accessory isolation exercises. This is the structure for the whole program. Literally for 20 weeks, this is what we're doing. And when you come here, you've literally got like loads of videos again, like of like exercises to warm up, to stretch for your mobility. And those exercises, although sometimes they may actually make you look like kind of funny, weird and stuff like that, they have huge benefit. And I can actually vouch for it personally. When I came back from my injury, I think it was last year after I had my lower back injury, I literally doubled down on mobility. And I would spend literally all my rest day, I would spend like 30 minutes to 45 minutes doing mobility drills, really like making sure that my hips are flexible enough, my lower back is smooth enough, really learning how to fire my hamstrings. All these kind of mobility drills really helped me a lot, so I could actually get there, and I've changed actually my deadlift stance. And if you know me and if you've seen the videos I do, you will see that I deadlift a sumo now. I used to deadlift conventional, and then right now, like in the space of 6 months, I managed to match my sumo and my conventional deadlift. And that was purely down, beside the good programming and the good exercising, it was purely down to mobility drills. So mobility is extremely important. When you pick up your workout sheet, when you pick up your workout, like you will see that first part which says like 5 to 10 minute mobility. This is a must. You have to do it. And you know, sometimes you may be in a rush. You just want to go in and then get on with your workout as quick as possible. Make mobility part of your workout. Make the mobility drills part of your workout. They're literally like 5-10 minutes at top, sometimes 15 minutes, depending on what you're doing. Because you will see the impact on your performance. Like your performance changed drastically after you've done your mobility right. And that's what we're doing throughout the program. You will see here when you're on the platform, we got videos for mobility for your upper body, and then videos for your mobility on for your lower body as well. And those videos, we've got more which are getting added on in the coming weeks as well. And it's going to be a total game changer, because we are actually creating a separate module, which is going to be like a 4 or 8 weeks course purely for mobility and better movement. That's how important this is, because if you're able to control your body at 100% without any nibbles, pain, you will see that your performance will improve. You will see that your result will accelerate. And that's the whole purpose of Rise and Rise Academy, is to actually give you results, and tangible ones as well. Now, let's get out of the screen. Now, besides obviously like the mobility and the injury prevention, recovery, and all these kind of things, there is another thing as well I want to touch on. Is one thing I've seen a lot is injuries will happen. We do everything we can to minimize them, of course. We do everything we can to make sure that injuries don't happen. to make sure that we stay obviously in a safe place, and we progress in a safe place. Unfortunately, they will happen, and when they happen, I want you to obviously like keep your head on the price, because quite often we kind of like sleep off. If your physio or your chiropractor or your sports therapist or whoever, your doctor recommended you to obviously take a rest, you'll have to take that rest. Okay, you can't really force it. My first back injury was in which year was that? I think it was in 2015 or 2016, and I had to take literally 6 months off. I went through the whole rehab, sports massage, sports therapist. I literally worked with some crunches at some point, and I took 6 months off. And during this time, what happened is I found myself literally starting eating shit. I found myself like obviously binge eating shit, really losing control of my environment and my nutrition. And this is where obviously like you need to make sure that you don't fall into this trap. Okay, and it's not just exercising. We're probably exercising at top. We're exercising like what, 5-6 hours a week, and that's really if we had peak performance. But the reality is, when those things happen, and it's not just for injuries, it's for everything else. If you can't train for some reason, you need to keep your eye on the price. And again, like let's pop back into Rise again. When you come into the program, that's why we go through these first 5 modules where we talk about like the codes. The codes is pretty much like what we live for, what we stand for, and this is literally the set of 4 rules that we're following regardless. So we got the 4th point of the code says that we are committed. Says that we are committed to self-improvement by at least 1% every day, which means even if you can't train, even if you can't exercise, you still got to show up. You still got to be committed to excellence. And this is really important. And that's why when we're starting the program, I highly advise that you keep that code visible, because in those tough times, in those times where obviously there's uncertainty, you can't train, you can't exercise, you really want to keep that in your mind. And then when we pop into the vision as well, what are your goals? And remember, like when we first started, I made you write down your goals and really visualize them. And I made you fill up that questionnaire, and you fill that up, and you've got that in your emails as well. Go back and revisit those goals so that you don't sleep off. And right now, we're creating a daily journal for you guys, and you should be able to get that very shortly, so that you can actually see the goals. You will not necessarily have to go back to your emails. You can literally go in there and flip to the page and then see that, okay, my goal is to actually be a better father, be fitter, be more energized for my son. When you see that, I guarantee you that you will not fuck up. I guarantee you that you will not fall off the workout. And that's what makes the difference, having that vision, having that goal. And back then as well, when we started, we talked about the truth. You being truthful to yourself, and then knowing that, you know what, this is my problem. This is the thing I'm struggling the most with. This is what I need to change. And that's, again, part of the process. So those things may happen. We're trying to do everything we can so that they don't happen. But again, it's extremely important that we have obviously like the knowledge to, okay, I'm out of focus. I'm back now. It's extremely important that we have the knowledge, first of all, to prevent those things, like making sure that we execute the lifts the right way, okay? And spend some time, even like before actually getting to the gym, getting your workout sheet, downloading onto your phone, getting super pumped, super excited. Those videos are 1 minute, you know? And in every single workout sheet, you will see that if you click on the link, it's going to refer you back to the how to. So go back, watch it, see how it's done, make yourself comfortable with it. And for every single big 3 movement in the program, I literally put like perform at least 2 to 3 warm-up sets, which is 2 to 3 warm-up sets with literally the empty bar. For example, if my working weight on a deadlift for today is 200 kilos, this is how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to make sure that I've watched the video and, okay, I know how to implement it. I'm going to start with the empty bar. And up to now, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the empty bar, and I'm going to make sure that, okay, with the empty bar, the lift feels okay. No, everything is smooth. It's fine. Now, can I perform it the right way? From the empty bar, I'm going to go into 1 plate, which is 60 kilos aside. I mean, 1 plate is 60 kilos. And I'm going to make sure that, again, I'm comfortable with it. And then from 1 plate, I'll go to 2 plates. Okay, again, make sure I'm comfortable with it, and that's my warm up set, and I just build up to that, because as I build up to the warm up, I build up to the resistance as well. And for me, like, this is how I make sure that I don't get injured. It is how I make sure that I remain in control. Remember, we talked about control before, and that's where obviously we want you guys to really step it up, man. You know what I mean? Like, if injuries happen, chances are they're very likely to be because of you. And we want to do everything in our power to mitigate and reduce that. So be sure to make yourself familiar with the how-to sections. I mean, when you get to like phase 4, for example, the strong and jacked, the phase 3, like the workouts there get pretty intense, you know. And you will see that with the intensity you need to make sure that, okay, when you come in there, like, you know what you're doing. You know, you need to know that, okay, this is how I should approach this. For example, if I tell you to do some GM press, which you've never done before, don't just watch the video and then try to attempt it in your workout, in your working sets. You want to go in there and literally spend like 3 to 5 sets performing the lift. The GM press is supposed to be felt in your triceps and your chest. So like, you really want to be sure that, okay, am I feeling my triceps or my chest, or is it more of a shoulder movement? And really, like, that's why everybody calls like mind-muscle connection. Knowing how to execute the lift will help you reduce greatly the chances of injuries and really keep you in control. I've got one question which just came in from Tony. I wrote it down here. So we're going to deal with that, and then we're going to wrap it up today if I haven't got any other questions. So Tony asked me, what's the difference between a physio, a chiropractor, and a sports therapist? Right. Very good question. I've personally used all of those 3 specialists, and for different reasons. Okay. And I believe that at different stage in your journey, or depending on how bad the injury is, you may need one of them, or you may actually need a combination of them. So, for example, for the physio is more about like really better movements. Okay. And when I had my first back injuries, and I know that most people really suffer from either back injuries, shoulders injuries, knee injuries. It's probably like the top 3, actually. There may be other stuff, but I think these are the top 3. With my back injury, I worked with the physio on really like better movement, because my back was really hurting. I couldn't even drive for more than an hour. And it was a matter for me to really learn to re-engage my core again, because like, you kind of like, your core gets really weak when you've got back injuries. In case you don't know, you will kind of like feel that at some point. So it was really learning those basic movements, like really like raising my knee from the floor, for example, which was like, it seemed like an impossible task. So doing those small exercises with the physio really helped me a lot. As far as the chiropractor, it's kind of like my go-to specialist right now, because a chiropractor is more like hands-on. It's really working with like bone alignment and stuff like that. And I'm probably going to bring my chiropractor on a podcast someday, and then I'm sure we're going to get some value from him. And yeah, I like the chiropractor because it's more hands-on. And any visit to the chiropractor, especially for me, I'm talking from my experience. Because again, I'm not one of those specialists, so I can't really talk for them. I talk from my experience, and I hope that you're going to get some value from it. And with the chiropractor, it was really like a hands-on experience. So, for example, I go to my chiropractor and I'm like, yo, okay, my lower back is stiff, and he's probably going to like crack my spine, and then I'm done. In 5 minutes, I'm fixed. You know what I mean? Or like I've got a big knot of bloods like towards my lower back and my glutes. You just got to elbow me a little bit, it's done. So that's the thing I like most about a chiropractor, is like it's more hand-on and really like immediate release of pain. However, it may not be like the most suitable professional to go to, depending on how your injury is going. I would say that the best point of reference should also always be your doctor. Okay, go to your GP. In the UK, it's a GP. This is your doctor, your general practitioner. Go to your doctor, who is going to give you like a proper assessment of what's happening, and then they will recommend you in that direction. And for the last bit, the sports massage. For me, I really use like sports massage when it comes to like extreme soreness. You know, like it's not like for injury per se. Like when I've got like some serious soreness. So if I go, for example, through a peak week, in powerlifting, it's a peak week, like when you've got like a week just before the competition where you lift, actually I think 2 weeks before the competition, when you lift like super heavy, like you get extremely sore. So I really like use a sports massage therapist really to do like some soft tissue work, really like releasing the tension in my muscles. And that's really how I see those three. And I think like each and every single one of those professional got his role. I don't think like one is better than the other. It really depends on like where the injury is, what you do about it, and really like finding out like which one will help you the most. And that's what I really want to that's the point I want to bring home. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's mastermind. And again, if you got any questions, do not hesitate to obviously pop them in the group, and I'll be more than happy to help you jump on a call with you, whatever it is. And yeah, I will see you next week, 2 o'clock as usual. Peace out. Bye-bye.